lovely people. My name is Millie. Welcome and welcome back to this channel. If you are a returning viewer, thank you. And if you're new here, kindly consider joining the family by subscribing. It's a kind request, okay? So, guys, the video I'm going to do today, I've been fighting with this thought for, I think, ever since I started the channel, right? I am going to be sharing with you guys why and how I started this channel. And I don't know, for some reasons, I kept on saying, they don't need that. Yeah. But then, guess what? I got over it. I'm like, they just share. You never know. You might be impacting someone who's there fighting with their thoughts on why and how they should start a channel, right? So yeah, this is my own experience, why and how I started the channel, okay? Without wasting any of your time, let's get into it. You said never let me go. So, I used to have this job that required me in the afternoon, like at 1:30, that is when I should report for work, right? And the morning hours were all my hours. Free time, do whatever you want, right? So it started with a good vibe, like, you're sleeping until 11, until 12, until 10ish. That is when you're too early. You're like, tomorrow I'm going to wake up early. That is 10. But I could sleep even up to noon, right? Just to get ready, boom, go for work. But then it started getting boring along the way. Like, you wake up just to scroll through your phone, see the news feeds, people's news feeds who chucked, whose relationship ended in tears, which government is doing ABC, blah, 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 really in these morning hours. So I used to envy people who love reading, right? So somehow the spirit led me into reading. I'm like, do you know what, Millie? You should train yourself to learn how to read, right? Because they say, if you want to hide anything from any African person, put it in writing. Like, right? Millie, don't be among these culprits who do not want to read. Just like reading. Calling my friend, I'm like, man, I want to start reading. I want to start reading. And recommendation of books that you think would be interesting from the start, because since I didn't want to, I needed something that is really catchy to keep me going, right? So she was like, yeah, let me send you a book. She sent me a book called 5 a.m. Club. If you haven't read it, guys, it's Robin Sharma book. You should go find it out. So she sends me the book. She's like, try that. Guys, I don't know, maybe because I was into the thing, like I was open-minded, I was really ready to learn how to read. The thing was interesting. Like, the book was nice. It was practical, first of all, real life, real things. And I'm like, yo, this is interesting. So I started reading. I remember the first day I read the full chapter, I'm like, yeah, you got this, Millie. Interestingly. So yeah, the book is talking about waking up at 5 a.m. According to the author, it's like people are required to work at 8, right? 8 a.m. So you should wake up at 5 a.m. and do your morning routine. And he gives you from 5 a.m. until 8 when you're at work, what you are doing. And one of the things he mentioned was working out, right? So I'm like, I can do this. I can do this. Meanwhile, I didn't tell you guys, I'm a sanguine. Like, I don't have any problem with starting something. Just tell me, I feel it works for me, boom, you'll see me. But then the problem comes in with sustainability. That is when I know that I think this wasn't my thing. So I'm like, working out, it's okay, I can do this. So I start. He told us we should work out for, was it 10 minutes or 15? But then me, since I had much time, I'm like, I'm going to work out for 30 minutes. Yeah. So I remember the following day, I woke up. I'm like, I gave myself a schedule. I'm like, Millie, you're going to be waking up early, because 5 a.m. wasn't really going to be my thing, because I didn't have anything to do and I was tired of scrolling through my phone. So I'm like, I'm going to be waking up at 8. You can imagine a person has been waking up at 11 to up to 8. Yeah, it was a good thing. It was a good progress for me. So yeah, I started waking up at 8, and I wake up for 30 minutes working out. I remember I used to go to YouTube, watch people's videos working out. I'm following in my room, right? Yeah. But then the thing with working out, when you're done working out, normally your brain is asking you for a productive thing, right? You can't just finish working out and go take a shower, then boom, you sit. Like, no, you need, like, your brain is active now. You need to do something productive, right? Like, okay, now what am I going to do during this time? I feel like I got to use this time, right? So the idea came to me. I think it was the spirit. It's like, you know what, Millie? After working out, you read a book. I would read a book for 30 minutes, right? Yeah. 30 to 45 minutes around there. So I wake up, work out for 30 minutes, read a book for 30 minutes, and shower. Like, it would take me, I would finish all those in at like 9:30. So from 9:30 until noon, when I'm getting ready for work, I'm like, okay, now what should I do in this time? I remember I went back to the scrolling phone thing, social media stuff. And yeah, it was boring. I'm like, let me find another productive thing that I can do, right? So I'm like, Millie, the spirit led me that, Millie, every day, try to equip yourself with some knowledge, like get some tutorials that can help you in a day-to-day life, right? The likes of Microsoft, Excel, CG, QuickBooks, like at least for 30 minutes, learn something new, right? Like, okay, so this will work for me. Like I said, starting is not a big deal for me. Boom! I remember I started off with QuickBooks. And they are learning. Now, QuickBooks is accounting thing, right? So I went, interesting, like my brain is responding. And I was excited, guys. I'm like, okay. So then now I think the brain is tired. You need to rest. So after I would finish at around 10. After that, I get tea. I take my breakfast. And yeah, so from 10 to noon, I'm just there freelancing. Now the brain kept on the brain kept on pushing me, do another thing. Like, utilize this time, maybe. I'm like, okay, so what should I do? What should I do now? That went on for like 2 weeks. Yeah. And guys, you do not know how I used to, like, I used to feel excited, and I used to feel so good that I am among those small group. When I was reading that book, the guy was saying, don't be among the large group. Categorize yourself into the small group that does rare things. And I was like, me, I'm not like those people who sleep up to 11, up to 10. Me, by 8, I'm up. Yet I'm not going to work at 8. Like, you don't know the excitement I used to feel. Anyway, so I'm like, so what should I do next? I remember as I was busy scrolling in through the YouTube videos, I landed on this video entitled, I record my YouTube videos using my phone and edit them with my phone as well. I'm like, okay, so you can do this. I watched the video and it was possible. What don't I have? I have a phone, period. That's all is required for a start. So I'm like, okay, let me try. And I remember searching for more videos on how to start a YouTube channel, right? So yeah, I went on, and they were asking, you should have a mic for better sound, blah blah blah. Yeah, so I tried with the phone only, and the sound was keep giving that feedback that I didn't like. So I'm like, okay, at least the first thing I should get is the mic. And I was blessed. I was lucky that where I am, they're not so expensive. Boom. So I get it. In just 3 days, it's here. I'm like, okay, so we start. Starting is not my problem. Okay. So then I was like, okay, so what which video are you going to start with? I remember that watching one of the videos, one of the YouTubers saying that if you do not have any content, no, if you want to start a YouTube channel, just start. So I'm like, okay, we are starting, but what am I starting with? Then the guy was like, if you do not have any content, then start by introducing yourself. Hey, my name is Millie. You're welcome to my channel. This is what I'm going to be talking about. Now remember, since you don't know what you are going to be talking about, you can just mention your name, your age, where you came from, where you come from, blah blah blah. Like just for 3-5 minutes, you're done. And when you're done with that, put it out there. You're going to be inspired. You're going to be surprised by how people will react and support you. So it's like, okay, but this is not my thing. Introducing yourself and just put it out. I'm like, okay. So I was like, Millie, don't you have anything like really to tell people? Don't you have anything to tell people? I was like, yeah, I do have actually. How I got conned, right? This thing can, one, be helpful to some other person, not to fall into the trap that I fell into. I told you, if you haven't watched that video, man, go watch it. Go watch it, because you may fall a victim. Hey. So yeah, I'm like, this thing is going to help the person not to fall a victim. B, it is helping me to put myself out there, right? And C, it can be my startup point, right? So I'm like, this is it. I'm just going to tell people how I got conned. It didn't require me to overthink how blah blah, because I had the story. It was my own experience. Like I really went through it. So there's nothing like, oh, you have to make a research, oh, you have to do this. I just sat down and started talking. Guess what? I remember it was Tuesday. The following day on Wednesday, I'm like, yo, Millie, you got this. I put my phone in front of me. I sit down, start talking. Hey guys, my name is Millie. Welcome to my... And yeah, I edited it with my phone. Yeah, with my phone. I'll share with you guys the different applications I use to edit my videos, right? That will be a video on its own. So yeah, I edited with my phone and boom, I put it out there. I remember I got nervous putting out there because I didn't know how good it was. Was it really good enough? Was it? And with the tutorials we used to have, they were saying you will never feel satisfied in those. I think they mentioned first 20 videos or so. They usually have mistakes. They usually you're just trying out things, trying to get used to that thing, right? Yeah, so I recorded it on Wednesday. I stayed with it. I edited it on that very day, but I stayed with it Thursday. I published it on a Friday. Yeah, Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Friday around noon there. I'm like, this is it. I'm just going to put it out. Boom! I put it out. I go to my social media handles and I do what? I advertise it. Guys, this is my channel. Kindly subscribe. Blah blah blah. And y'all, like obviously people were excited. Emily, you have a channel all along. Blah blah blah. I'm like, no, I'm just starting. I don't know whether they were haters. If you're there, thank you for hating it anyway. I kept on. Later on, I learned that you can actually earn something out of these contents that you're sharing, right? So my main intention was to get rid of this boredom, this reckless things I do in my free time, right? Things that are not really productive. I'm like, maybe you get to do something. Because with the videos, I think I share my experiences to you guys. One, to help you, like kind of giving you my knowledge and my experience on how I do my things, right? And two, it is also helping me to put out myself out there, to not to waste my time doing unproductive things, right? So yeah, it is helping us, both of us. And now the money thing comes in. I'm like, oh, so you can earn money in this thing. When I was starting, I wasn't really looking at the money thing because I'm like, yeah, it's not that much. But then it is better than zero, right? Yeah. So I'm like, Millie, just go for it. that is how and why I started my YouTube channel. And guys, the very first video I published in when? February. February, I don't remember that date, but in February. And you can't imagine, and now I've got 2,000 views. Can you imagine, guys? Who am I? Like, who am I to get 2,000 views? Thank you so much. It's all you that made it happen for me to be here. So thank you. I really appreciate. Thank you so much for watching my content. Kindly continue watching. And subscribe, man. Kindly subscribe. Thank you. That is why and how I started my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Kindly like, subscribe, comment, and share. Don't forget to practice kindness. Until next time, bye.